सो गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स। आज का लेक्चर हमारा है बिलरी कॉलिक के ऊपर। नाउ क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट इज़ बिलरी कॉलिक। कॉलिक मीन्स पेन। सो अगर आपको एक्सट्रीम क्रैम्पिंग पेन राइट रीजन में या राइट क्वाड्रेंट ऑफ द एब्डोमेन या स्पेशली राइट हाइपोकॉन्ड्रिक रीजन में फील होती है, देन इट कम्स अंडर बिलरी colic. There are so many reasons behind having biliary colic, but one of the main reasons जो है वो ये है कि अगर स्टोन है, स्टोन कहाँ पे, either in your GB or in the bile duct, या sometimes it gets passed from GB and gets stuck in the BD. So that's these are the main reasons of having biliary colic. And the pain that we feel in this type of colic, that's extreme pain and is of cramping in nature. Now what are the reasons or what are the risk factors where biliary colic can be found? Now let's discuss them one by one. So dear students, those who are suffering from the problem of being overweight, they are most vulnerable to biliary colic. After that, those patients, especially females who are on estrogen replacement therapy, besides them, those patients who are having the history of CAD or those patients who are having the history of dyslipidemia. These are, or we can say, when the pregnant women, she is more susceptible to biliary colic. So these are some of the risk factors where the chances of biliary colics gets increased. So students, besides them, other risk factors for having biliary colic are as number one, all those patients who are having the history of diabetes, or who are suffering from diabetes, or we can say those which are the long standing cases of DM type 2 especially. Besides them, those who are having or suffering from any gastrointestinal condition or any other complication related with the GIT. Besides them, certain medications or those persons who are having rapid weight loss. These are some of the patients who are again more susceptible to have biliary colic. So students, let's now start with the symptoms of the biliary colic. Do you know, when we talk about the type of pain, patients, especially those who are suffering from the biliary colic, then the number one thing we need to be considered in our mind, that the pain is of cramping in nature, is a dull visceral pain and is mostly felt in right upper quadrant, or in some patients even is felt in the epigastric region, right? So these are some of the things that we need to be keep in our mind while diagnosing any patient for biliary colic. One of the most important characteristics of the patients suffering from biliary colic is that those patients who suffer from it, they are having pain even in their right shoulder, or we can say scapular region. So students, let us talk about the nature of the pain. What happens, this type of pains occurs suddenly even after 30 to 60 minutes of taking meal. That meal may be normal meal, or it can be a large meal that we used to take after having fast for one day or for many hours, or even after having a fatty meal. Patient starts having biliary colic. Now second thing, it's just like intermittent colicky exacerbation of pain. Moreover, patient is going to suffer from this pain even 1 to 2 days after having such type of attack. But there will be difference between the pain prior to attack and after 1 to 2 days of attack. I mean to say, during time of attack, the type of pain patient is having, that's of extreme painful condition. Patient is suffering from the extreme pain, especially in the right upper quadrant or in right posterior scapular or shoulder region. But after 1 to 2 days of attack, the intensity of the pain will be reduced, but no doubt pain will still be there. And such type of pain, it lasts for 1 to 6 hours. So patient is having right upper quadrant pain. He or she is also having tenderness at the right upper quadrant of the abdomen. Moreover, patient will suffer from dehydration due to procreated vomiting, and due to this dehydration the patient is going to suffer from diaphoresis, from his, or he will be paler, or he's just rolling about and is unable to get comfortable, and sinus tachycardia is common among such type of patients, right? Now first of all we can do the differential diagnosis of this disease from acute cholecystitis. See students, there is a difference between the two. In case of acute cholecystitis, patient is going to suffer from fever, while in case of biliary colic there is no such history, right? Second differential diagnosis we can did it from cholangitis patients who mostly suffer from fever, jaundice, and this right upper quadrant pain, and such sign is known as the Charcot sign. Now there is also Raynaud's Pentard sign. If there is shock and altered consciousness accompanied with Charcot's triad, then is known as Pentard, or we can say Reynolds Pentard, and such signs are mostly seen in case of patients that suffer mainly from cholangitis, right? Third differential diagnosis we can do from pancreatitis. Now those patients who suffer from pancreatitis, we all know they are going to have their they are going to have low grade fever, they are going to have signs like we have Killian sign and Turner sign. Now see students, there is a difference between Killian sign and Turner sign. In case of Killian sign there is a periumbilical discoloration, while in case of Turner's sign there is discoloration, but discoloration is in the flank. So it's the most easiest way to differentiate between these two signs, right? So as far as lab investigation is considered, such type of patients needs to be investigated. They need to do the following investigations. Number one, CBC, LFT, serum amylase, pancreatic enzymes, USG, X-ray abdomen, urine analysis. Besides them, we can also go for MRI as well as ERCP, right? So as far as the treatment of this biliary colic is considered, one of the most preferred treatment, that's the laparoscopic cholecystectomy, because the most common cause of this disease is in fact the GB stones, or those stones that get stacked in the PD. Second one is use of antispasmodics. Antispasmodics like we have glycopyrrolate, and it comes by the name of Robinul on the market, and the dose of the parental Robinul is 0.1 to 0.2 mg IV or IM, and as far as oral is considered it's 1 to 2 mg PUPD or radius as per the condition of the patient, right? Besides them we can go for analgesics, because patient is extremely suffering from the cramping pains, and in analgesics we can go for the meperidine or Demerol. That's basically an opioid analgesic, and is given in the dose of 50 to 150 milligrams PURV IM, depending upon the condition of the patient. What does this Demerol do? What's the function of this Demerol? Basically, Demerol causes sphincter of it basically it reduces the spasm of the sphincter of the body than morphine. So it's considered better, or we can say well tolerated than that of morphine. Second is ketorolac. It's a toradol, and it's given in the dose of 30 to 60 IMG initially, then followed by 15 to 30 mg. 6 hourly. It relieves pain of GB distension, means in case the patient is suffering from the biliary colic just because of the distension of gallbladder, then in this case this ketorolac is going to function very well, or is going to relieve the patient's pain it's going to relieve the pain of the patient very well as compared to that of Demerol, right? And the third group we can use is that of antiemetics, because the patient is mostly suffering from nausea, emesis. So the best antiemetic we can use here is metoclopramide in the dose of 10 milligrams and IV 6 hourly. Moreover, it also depends upon the condition of the patient. Now the next group is, it's known as bile acid oral resolution therapy. It's specially indicated in those patients who can't tolerate the surgery, or who are not willing to go for surgery, or we can say it's just an alternative in non-surgical candidates. In this case, we go for Usodil, or we can get Actigal in a dose of 8 to 10 milligram per kg per day, PO divided BD or TDS, and the course is for from 6 to 12 months, right? See, our nasogastric suction, it plays an important role, especially for those patients who suffer from protracted vomiting. So these are the main line of treatment that we used to do in case of those patients who suffer from the biliary colic. So thank you so much. Here we end our lecture, and kindly go through all the books, all the texts you have available at this time. And in case you have any query, any topic you feel it's out of your range, or you are not able to understand it properly, you can text me. I will reply you instantly. Thank you. Take care. Bye.